People are not paying money to see Angel Reese play basketball.
It is unrivaled. It is also unwatched.
If people wanted to watch her play, Unrivaled would not be struggling in the ratings.
If you want to be considered the GOAT, you got to have GOAT-like performances.
But who wants to see a woman miss layups?
I don't know what it is. She gets ejected, only plays 7 minutes, and her team wins.
Angel Reese just had one of the most embarrassing performances of her career. Missing easy layups, getting ejected in disgrace, and then breaking down in tears as social media exploded.
She has her worst professional pro game, and her team wins.
Angel Reese is important. To who? I have been covering Angel Reese for about 2 years now. I have yet to see her draw a single fly to a fresh turd. But according to Angel Reese, everything I do keep going viral.
This was supposed to be her moment in the Unrivaled league, but instead she got exposed for exactly what she is. A player who thrives on drama, not dominance. And now, she's desperately trying to flip the narrative.
The #1 complaint in the WNBA has been their minimum wage salaries. Unrivaled is giving WNBA players the opportunity to make dollars instead of cents. Not only is Angel Reese not happy, over the weekend, Angel Reese once again lost emotional control as she got on social media and expressed her desire to return to the minimum wage that she was making in the WNBA.
After spending months hyping up Unrivaled, she's suddenly talking about returning to the Chicago Sky because she knows this league is going nowhere without Caitlin Clark.
I can't wait to get back to Chicago, man. This person said, don't do that. You spent days bragging about how great Unrivaled is.
I can't wait to get back to the WNBA. If you were making $73,000 a year and someone offered to pay you $250,000 for the same job, would you be disrespecting them publicly?
The ratings are crashing, her performances are getting worse, and her biggest weapon, controversy, isn't working anymore. So what really happened? Why did Angel Reese's meltdown go viral? And how does this prove once again that Caitlin Clark is in a completely different league? Stay tuned as we break it all down.
3 weeks into the season and Unrivaled is struggling to sell out a studio that seats 800 people?
At some point, TNT Sports is going to be like, we ain't making no money because we ain't got no ratings. And I mean, they don't have any ratings, and she's not pulling them. She had a game last Saturday, didn't even make 80,000 viewers. This person said you complain about everything. Professional life is different, and you can't seem to handle it.
Angel Reese has made a career out of being loud, confident, and playing the villain. But in her latest game, all that talk meant nothing when she couldn't even make basic shots. She missed multiple easy layups, struggled to find her rhythm, and became visibly frustrated as the game slipped away from her.
She had 15 rebounds, 5 offensive ones, and she missed 5 shots. I don't know why that happens, but the less she plays, the more successful her teams are. That feels like Andre Drummond, does it not?
Let's break it down. Reese played only 7 minutes before getting ejected, and in that short time, she managed to miss 5 shots, including point-blank layups that any top-tier player should make. These weren't tough contested shots or deep threes. These were the kind of plays that separate real stars from average players.
At one point, Angel Reese moved her feet, which resulted in a foul. Angel Reese complained about the call, which resulted in a technical. She complained again, which resulted in Angel Reese being ejected from the game.
And what did Angel Reese do when she started missing? She panicked. Instead of regrouping and proving she could bounce back, her frustration boiled over. She started showing her emotions on the court, throwing her hands up, reacting dramatically to calls, and arguing with officials instead of focusing on her game. That's the difference between great players and hype-driven players. A true star knows how to reset mentally, but Angel Reese, she let her emotions take over.
Angel Reese, she decided to subtly put fuel on this flaming ass fire. She sent out a tweet that said, "Happy Black History Month. Y'all know I had to be the first. The first player to miss a layup? The first player to get ejected?"
And here's where it gets even worse. Fans noticed everything. Social media started buzzing not because of how great she was playing, but because of how embarrassing her performance was. People weren't talking about her dominance, they were talking about her missed layups, her attitude, and how her presence was actually hurting her team. And just like that, Reese realized she was losing control of the narrative.
I thought Angel Reese was a draw. Now, in fairness to Angel Reese, I thought both technical fouls were bullshit. According to Angel Reese, this is mythical racism. That evil white man ejected Angel Reese on the first day of Black History Month.
This was supposed to be her league. She was one of the biggest names pushing Unrivaled, claiming it would revolutionize women's basketball. But now she was seeing the reality. Without Caitlin Clark, this league was going nowhere.
Have some sportsmanship, seriously. Now, she's still acting up and running her mouth right here. She's pointing out, look, you're running your mouth. Get out of here. The referee said, I'm not listening to your smart-ass mouth. Get out of here.
And worse, her own game wasn't living up to the hype. As the pressure mounted, Reese's meltdown was inevitable. Her emotions got the best of her, and soon she went from just playing poorly to completely losing control. And that's where the ejection came in, something that only made her situation even worse.
Unbelievable. Black History Month, y'all know I had to be the first. Seriously. So she just claimed that she got thrown out because she's the victim of racism.
When it's not going well for you, claim racism.
She came out, made it about race, and got crushed.
As if missing multiple layups wasn't embarrassing enough, Angel Reese completely lost control and got herself ejected in the most humiliating way possible. But here's the thing. This wasn't some unfair call or a bad officiating moment. Reese did this to herself.
How many of you heard about Angel Reese becoming the first player to get ejected from a pretend basketball game in Unrivaled? Hell, how many of you even knew that Unrivaled was still in business? After seeing the ratings through the first 2 weeks, I'm surprised that TNT hasn't kicked Unrivaled out of the studio that they're playing games in, so the network can use the studio to produce something that people will actually watch.
Let's break it down. The footage is clear. She got a technical for taunting, mouthing off, and throwing her hands up at the referee. Instead of backing off, she kept arguing, kept pushing, and refused to let it go. The second technical foul was inevitable. She wanted the attention and she got it. But this time it backfired. Instead of making herself look like a dominant, confident player, she looked childish and unprofessional.
She got ejected. She came back, claimed that Sports Illustrated was running clickbait because they put out an article that said Angel Reese became the first player to be ejected from Unrivaled. It's literally not clickbait. It was true. Everything I do keep going viral.
And what happened next? The meltdown spilled onto social media. Instead of taking responsibility for her actions, Reese immediately tried to flip the script. She posted cryptic tweets, played the victim, and even tried to suggest that her ejection was about something bigger than basketball.
Most players are proud of scoring titles, MVP awards, or making first team All-NBA. Angel Reese is bragging about being the first player ejected from a league that no one is watching.
She tweeted, "Free me," as if she were trapped in some unfair situation, when in reality she put herself in that position.
Free me. Like she's trapped. How much money are they paying her? She owns part of the league. She's got equity in the league, and she's not happy.
Unrivaled is paying Angel Reese $250,000 for 8 weeks of her time. The WNBA pays her $73,000 over 5 months. Angel Reese is begging and ready to return to the dump? WNBA players will never be satisfied.
He tweets out, "Free me." Are you kidding me right now? She literally got ejected and threw a fit, a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old, threw a fit on social media. She had a total and complete meltdown. And then talking about free me from a players-owned league you wanted to go play in. Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson set their asses at the house.
But the worst part? She tried to use race as an excuse. After getting thrown out, she tweeted about Black History Month, implying that her ejection was racially motivated.
She's like a child. She's so immature. Money can't buy maturity, no doubt. You can take the girl out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the girl.
If you are looking for true happiness, money is not the solution. And we were given further proof of that this weekend in the secondary dump known as Unrivaled. Unrivaled was designed to change that. The entire premise of Unrivaled was to give the minimum wage earners in the WNBA the opportunity to make real money.
Let's be real, this had nothing to do with race and everything to do with Angel Reese being unable to control herself on the court. This isn't the first time she's played this card, and fans are starting to see through it.
Angel Reese is under this illusion that popularity on social media makes you a mainstream draw. She captioned a headline from Sports Illustrated and claimed that everything she does goes viral. Angel Reese is extremely popular with lonely men on social media. That popularity does not equate to ratings. If Angel Reese is a big star, how come people aren't watching her play basketball?
And then came the biggest contradiction of all. Reese suddenly started talking about leaving Unrivaled and returning to the Chicago Sky. Wait a minute, wasn't she the one who was hyping up this league, calling it the future of women's basketball? Just days ago, she was all in, saying that Unrivaled was going to change the game. But now that things aren't going her way, she's ready to run?
As you can see, she used proper pronouns when addressing her colleagues in the WNBA. Can't wait to get back to Chicago. Really?
And then says, I can't wait to get back to Chicago, man. This person said, don't do that. You spent days bragging about how great Unrivaled is. I mean, that is garbage. We told you people wasn't going to tune in for this league. We tried to tell you that. Oh, no, watch. Angel's going to ball. You can't argue with 76,000 viewers.
This isn't just about one bad game, it's about Reese realizing that her plan isn't working. She thought Unrivaled would make her the biggest name in women's basketball. Instead, she's the league's biggest liability.
Angel Reese had a total and complete meltdown, not only on the basketball court. What I don't get is the total and complete meltdown that happened on social media.
The ejection wasn't just about this game, it was a symbol of her entire career strategy crumbling before her eyes. And now she's in tears, because she knows what's coming next. The fans, the media, and even her own team are realizing the truth. Angel Reese is more drama than dominance.
This is her play of the night right here. This is what she needs to do a lot more of for the Sky, for the Rose. That nice little pass out to Lexi Hull, who knocked down the three-pointer. Luckily, nobody was there to see that. I'm sure there wasn't anybody watching on TV either. We can see right here, I don't think my girl Angel has been working on layups at all, bro. I think Angel is focused on everything off the court. Doesn't look like she's polished or added to her game at all. Another season of this, and she'll fade into the woodwork.
And with Caitlin Clark nowhere near this mess, it's becoming painfully clear who the real superstar is. At this point, the differences between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark couldn't be more obvious. One player thrives on skill, leadership, and elite performances, while the other relies on drama, controversy, and social media antics to stay relevant. And after this latest meltdown, it's clear which one is truly the face of women's basketball.
The Unrivaled's Week 2 ratings have come out. They are real bad. In fact, Angel Reese failed to break 100,000 viewers. Now, tell me again how everybody's tuning in for you. A lot of people are tuning in for that little highlight where she lined up for that wide open top of the key three and then airballed it. She's still getting crushed.
Let's talk about why Caitlin Clark is miles ahead of Angel Reese. Unlike Reese, who is constantly trying to manufacture storylines and turn every situation into a controversy, Clark lets her game do the talking. She doesn't need to taunt opponents, make excuses, or cry on social media. She simply dominates on the court and proves her worth through performance, not antics. And that's exactly why Clark rejected Unrivaled in the first place. She saw this coming from a mile away.
They are offering Caitlin Clark $1 million for 2 months of her services. Players didn't like Caitlin Clark. Why would they be willing to make her the highest paid player in their new league? The idea to offer Caitlin Clark this money, it did not come from WNBA players. It came directly from TNT. Without Caitlin Clark, this league is a polished turd. I mean, why would Angel Reese want Caitlin Clark in this new league? If Caitlin Clark is there, the spotlight of Angel Reese, it becomes a shadow.
While the league tried to lure her in with a $1 million deal plus equity, she knew that this was never about basketball. It was about trying to use her name to legitimize a failing product. And now, look at what's happening. The league is already losing credibility, and its biggest star, Angel Reese, is trying to escape.
WNBA players, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they downplayed the impact of Caitlin Clark. It is amazing how pretend hatred and fake outrage magically seem to disappear when it comes to making money.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark doesn't just reject bad opportunities, she creates her own path. She even turned down an NBA All-Star appearance, something every other women's player would have jumped at.
I totally applaud what Caitlin Clark is doing. She's putting the WNBA first. She's saying, yeah, we matter first.
Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark will not participate in the NBA All-Star Special three-point shootout in San Francisco and wants her first three-point contest to be at WNBA All-Star in Indianapolis this summer.
Why? Because she doesn't need gimmicks to stay relevant. She is the moment.
Caitlin Clark already has money. She signed a $28 million deal with Nike. She's got endorsement deals from State Farm and a handful of other companies. Caitlin Clark doesn't necessarily need the money. It doesn't make sense. You have downplayed her impact, her importance all season, and all of a sudden, you're offering her $1 million along with a ownership stake in your new league?
And here's the harsh truth for Angel Reese. She can't compare herself to Caitlin Clark, no matter how hard she tries. Reese spent months trash-talking, hyping herself up, and trying to convince people that she was on Clark's level. But the reality? She's not even close.
This guy just crushed her over it. I'm guessing you don't know what the word means. It means tricking someone into engagement by exaggerating or stretching the truth. You are the first person to be ejected from an Unrivaled game. That's a fact. That's not clickbait.
This latest game was the ultimate exposure. Reese isn't built for the pressure. She missed shots, got frustrated, and when things weren't going her way, she melted down instead of stepping up. And now, instead of taking accountability, she's making excuses, trying to play the victim, and scrambling for a way to stay relevant.
The Clark effect led to WNBA games that didn't even feature Clark, drawing an average of 400,000 viewers. It's the Caitlin Clark effect.
The Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game, 2.3 million. Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever, 2.25 million. Fever versus the Storm, 2.2 million. Sun versus the Fever, 2.1 million. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying.
The contrast is undeniable. Caitlin Clark is focused on making history. Angel Reese is focused on making headlines. One is securing her legacy through talent, while the other is watching her own reputation collapse under the weight of her own drama.
The Caitlin Clark experience has been non-stop. Here's a woman that becomes the biggest star in sports.
Without Caitlin Clark, the ratings were going to be a dumpster fire rolling downhill on a tire fire, and that's exactly what we've got.
And the biggest takeaway? Reese tried to steal Clark's spotlight, but in the end, she only exposed herself. Now the whole world sees the truth. Without Caitlin Clark, there is no real excitement in women's basketball, and no amount of missed layups, ejections, or fake controversies will ever change that.
According to the media, this league is filled with star power. Angel Reese might be well known. Angel Reese may be a star on social media, but there's a huge difference between a star and a draw.
Nobody is coming close to the power of the Caitlin Clark effect. Like, they're just not.
The boil on Caitlin Clark's ass, Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups?
At the end of the day, Angel Reese's meltdown proves exactly what we've been saying all along. She's all talk, all drama, and no real dominance. She thought she could build her brand off controversy, but now her missed layups, embarrassing ejection, and social media excuses have backfired. Instead of proving she belongs at the top, she's proving that she can't handle the pressure.
36 million she drove to Indianapolis just by showing up as a rookie and making history. And so I understand her point of view. She wants to probably let other athletes shine. And she also says, like, it's earned, not given. There are other people that can use that spotlight to compete as well. So I think Caitlin, she moves because she knows people follow her no matter where she goes. And she's very strategic about dictating where her value is.
And while Reese is in tears, scrambling to fix her reputation, Caitlin Clark is thriving without even trying. Clark doesn't need to humiliate opponents, fake drama, or chase headlines. She is the headline. She rejected Unrivaled because she knew it was a circus, and now she's been proven right.
The new women's basketball league, Unrivaled, is averaging 194,000 viewers. Coverage on Monday night averaged 166,000. Saturday coverage averaged 98,000. The battle between Dejanay Carrington and Angel Reese barely broke 75,000 viewers. Are you kidding me? If Caitlin Clark would have played in that game, it would have got 500,000 viewers.
So now the question isn't just about Angel Reese's future in Unrivaled, it's about whether she even has a future as a serious player. Because one thing is clear, women's basketball belongs to Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese just got left behind. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real takes on the biggest stories in sports.
Angel Reese was defending one of the unknown laces as she was dribbling the air out of the miniature ball. It was so quiet in the studio, you could literally hear the ball bouncing off the court.
And I don't know what it is about Angel Reese. When she puts up real productive numbers, her teams lose. Angel Reese goes off and they lose. The one thing we know that women's basketball is not comfortable with, good marketing. Caitlin Clark are good marketing. I mean, Caitlin Clark comes in the WNBA, their cash cow shows up. They avoid her. They think Caitlin Clark is the COVID. The whole league just tried to stay away from her as much as humanly possible when they should be entirely leaning in.